Hey, what is up YouTube? It's Malorn here and I'm here with another wonderful video for you guys today. Today we're actually in the pet pavilion and this is my first pet video, I think. So we're going to be doing the maze game today and I'm trying to get, because Imperia Part 2 recently came out in Test Realm, I'm trying to get a good critical pet. Right now the only critical pet I have really is this one right here. And it's not the best, as you can see. So what I hatched with was a like a what is that called? It's like the Triceratops, but it's a storm one. You know, it's one of those Aztecan pets that you get at like I forgot what level. I think you get it in Azteca. You know, um, but I don't know. It had pretty good stats. They were a lot better than the pet that I have right now. So we're gonna try and see if that hatch made any difference. Keep in mind, I don't understand much about pets, so this is probably going to be pretty embarrassing. This first video will be about an hour long. I don't know if I will record the whole process because there's a lot in it, and honestly, I'm going to try and get this pet to Mega by today. So all of these videos will be recorded on the same day. I might upload them one per day, that way it's not too many uploads at once. Anyways, so let's go ahead and begin. We're going to do the pizza one, because why not? I mean, it doesn't really make a difference, so it's like, you know, if you do the pizza, the cake, they do provide different stats, I guess you could say. They do provide different benefits, like some go to strength, some go to will, you know, that kind of stuff, but not by much. Mostly you're going to be wanting your pet snacks to do all of that for you. You don't, if you're relying on the, you know, the pizzas and the cakes alone, yeah, it's not going to work. You need some good pet snacks. And I've got a lot of rank 9 pet snacks, like a lot of them. So I shouldn't have any problem with that. I shouldn't have any problem with the whole running out of them either, because I've got hundreds of them. Oh crap. Alright. I've also got a lot of couch potatoes, I think, that are ready to be harvested. So that should just be even more of them. I don't know, technically I haven't taken care of them for like 2 weeks, but there is kind of a trick that you can use so that they don't die on you. You don't visit the castle that you planted them in. Don't visit it. I think you have to take care of them maybe twice, unless you leave them there for like 2 weeks without going back to the castle at all. In which case, you know, after the 2 weeks is up, you can just go and, you know, they're there and they're ready to be harvested as elder plants. If you're trying to get the XP from it, though, it's always better to get the mature harvest too, because it'll get you there a lot faster. Alright, so we just got to 70, which is that's the amount that you want to be at, because that's how you win. Alright, I'm going to move this over a bit. So now we're going to do a fancy yogurt. There we go. We got 50 pet XP. Now, obviously, if we get a failed talent from the very start of this all, I'm going to do another hatch, because I don't really feel like going through that whole process of having to, well, I don't really want a failed talent on my pet. I've got so many failed pets, it's annoying. Ugh. This is why I don't like pet training. It's because the failed talents get in the way, and it makes it where it's really not fun. I mean, I know there's some people that enjoy it somehow, but I don't get it. Kind of drives me nuts. I've never been that patient of a person, though, so whenever I'm sitting there, you know, trying to get a really good pet, and all of my pets keep failing, you know, I'm kind of losing my mind, right? It's kind of like in PvP. If I'm sitting there and I'm just constantly losing matches, you know, one by one, I'm not good at PvP either. So I get upset, and you know, I have to kind of go and like work on a castle or do some fishing or something to kind of calm myself down. Like, you know, I know it's just a video game and everything. That's what people will tell you, but come on, really, you're gonna get mad occasionally. You know, I feel like the people who, you know, when you get mad at a game, they're just like, oh, it's just a video game, it's fine. I feel like you know, they get mad at the video games on occasion. Well, okay. I am being called. This is interesting. Especially since I don't recognize the area code at all. It's not from Texas, so I'm not really sure. I'm not gonna answer that. I'll probably call him back later, or like run the number through a public record search, because I don't want to be talking to like I don't know some criminal out there and he's planning on robbing a bank. My phone number, it used to belong to some guy. He apparently knew everyone in the entire freaking country because had people from Florida call me, people from California call me, people from, different cities in Texas. I've had people from Washington, D.C. I've had people from freaking Washington, Oregon, all over the freaking country, and they're all calling me, and it's all for this one guy whose name is like Travis or something. And I feel like he's some kind of hardcore criminal because, come on, no one knows that many people unless you need that many people in your life for some reason, right? Alright, not that many people, they're not all going to know your phone number unless they need a reason to know your phone number. Yeah, you meet people here and there when you travel, but really, do you give your number out to them? No. Anyways, I feel like he's not a very good dude, so... It's always interesting hearing the voice messages from people people calling me that were trying to call him instead, or whenever they call me and I do pick up the phone, and I say hey and they don't recognize my voice, they just go silent and I just like hang up because I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do here. Oh, okay, now they're texting me. That makes it easier. I can just read the text. Oh, okay. Well, that wasn't from the same phone number, so some other person called me and then simultaneously my manager at work just texted me and told me I put in for a day off and he was just texting me to confirm that I got it. So, that's nice. Alright. See, I kind of switch it up every now and then because if you just do pizza and cake all the time, it gets boring. They're staring at the same things. It gives me a headache. I don't know. Repetitiveness repetitiveness. I don't speak English, guys. So repetition drives me insane. I hate it. I mean, it kind of simplifies things, but at the same time, it's really annoying and boring, so it gives me a headache. Okay, so we're going in circles. It's pretty much all the maze game is. You go round and round and round and try to avoid the ghosts. Okay, we're at 45 seconds, and I've got 50 snacks so far. I wonder if I can get a really good pet before Imperia Part 2 goes live. Because, I mean, honestly, okay, so the reason I want a good pet is so I can get really high damage, but at the same time having, high critical, because right now I'm at like 80% critical. And that keeps me at about 125, 126% damage. But you can get 100% critical and have like 135% damage, and because I don't have a really good pet, I can't do that. So I have to kind of train it up to see if I can get a really good one. Alright, we did good there. I'm going to go ahead and... So, okay, good. Right off the bat, we got Storm Dealer. So that's a good sign, guys. That's a good sign. So we got one of the talents that we do want on the pet. Let's hope that my luck stays this way because honestly right now I don't have much confidence in this pet. I feel like I should, but the last 3 times that I've tried to get a new pet, it did well up until Ancient or Epic, and then all of a sudden it just failed out of nowhere. So I am a bit worried that I'm going to use all of these pet snacks and then just bam, it's just going to fail on me. I'm only going to train it up to Mega, though, because you can put, I think, if I remember right, you can put a critical jewel on a Mega pet. I'm not 100% on that, so don't quote me or anything. If you can't, I'll probably just put a damage jewel on there, because I know you can put those on a Mega pet. Okay, so we're going to do an apple this time. Like I said, we just switch it up. It doesn't really matter, because I'm not relying on those to get the points that I need to get my pet up there, Alright. Yeah, apparently my manager's already got my schedule set up for next week anyways. He was like, yeah, I mean, I already did that. I was like, okay, that's nice. Alright. Got apples. Yum, yum. Alright. She'll be going around the mountain when she goes. She'll be going around the mountain when she goes. She'll be going around the mountain. She'll be going around the mountain. She'll be going around the mountain when she goes. Yeehaw! Alright. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. I think that's a saying. I don't know why it would be an apple though. Like bananas have the potassium in them. Come on now. I think it's just fruits in general. That's kind of the point of that saying. But I feel like they probably could have used a better example than an apple. Especially with, and I'm not saying that I believe it all, but like with the controversy surrounding apples nowadays, I feel like a lot of people would look at that saying and they'd be like, no, that's not right. All right, they had GMOs in them and chemicals and stuff. Personally, I don't know. All right, I'm not gonna put an opinion on that one because I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I'm not a scientist. All right. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I try and avoid putting like my certain opinions on this is because I really can't speak for a lot of it. So it's kind of stupid to have an opinion on it. Okay, so we're gonna do fancy yogurt. Yeah, see, 50 at a time. That'll get me to 250. I probably should have done this with the double pet XP, but at the time I wasn't really thinking about it. I'm just trying to get my stats to match my teammates for Imperia Part 2. That's the whole point on this. Alright, so quick spoiler alert. If you're watching this video, I am going to put a spoiler here, so it's going to be like a 30-second spoiler, so just kind of skip 30 seconds ahead. I thought this was interesting, and I don't know if I mentioned it in a previous video or not, but MMORPG.com, the interview with KI, with the KI devs, they said that we were either going to be fighting Old Cobb, Grandmother Raven, or Myrtle Ambrose in Imperia Part 2. And I had said, or I had thought that it was going to be Grandmother Raven, right? Because she seemed like the big bad wolf at the time. Supposedly, and again the spoilers start here, we're going to be fighting like a shadow/star version of Myrtle Ambrose. And his boss, it's ranked 900 something like that. I mean, it's crazy. It's absolutely insane. I don't know if that's a bug because I don't know why it would be ranked 900, right? Like, surely it's not that hard. I mean, obviously people have already beaten Myrtle Ambrose as a boss. I wonder. I haven't actually seen his stats or anything. I haven't watched any of the live streams for the Imperia Part 2 stuff, but it's kind of going all around like this image of Myrtle Ambrose, and it's been confirmed as like the real thing. It's actually Myrtle Ambrose, you know, some kind of twisted version of him at least. And another thing is, well, I thought that was interesting first off because I didn't think we'd be fighting him. It doesn't make any sense to me, you know, like why would we want to fight him? Maybe whenever I actually go through the whole thing in Live Realm, I will understand more about it, but I don't know if like Old Cobb or Grandmother Raven twisted his soul, or maybe the Cabal got him, or I don't know. But one thing I do know is that when you look at the image, the text below it, for some reason Myrtle Ambrose seems to kind of have it out for the Arcanum. I've noticed that. He doesn't really like the Arcanum scholars. He thinks that they kind of make decisions, you know, about the spiral without the spiral's permission. And, you know, he, in Imperia Part 2, apparently, he states it a couple of times. He states at the beginning, whenever he visits the Arcanum, like, hey, you know, you don't get to just try all this experimental stuff without the rest of the spiral's permission here, especially when it's on one of my students. You can't do that, you know, just because you're the Arcanum, you think you can just do whatever you want. That's not how this works. And then he gets, or like the twisted version of him apparently is mad at us because we're like this big shot wizard working for this like secret agency of the spiral, the Arcanum, and he doesn't, you know, the twisted version I guess sees it as a bad thing, like, oh, you you walk among us like you're a god or something, something like that. You actually pay us a visit, like, oh, we should bow down to you, that kind of stuff. You'd actually have to look at the image because that's not the exact text, but it's very obvious to me from what he says and what he does in Imperial Part 2 that he doesn't really like the Arcanum all that much. Um, I guess because they do obviously have some kind of tendency to just do whatever they want, right? And it affects the spiral. It does. So it makes sense, because it's not like they're going and telling the Council of Light, like, hey, we're about to do this, uh, watch out, right? Like, oh, this is happening. We're going to do something really bad to the student. It may be good for the spiral. On the other hand, this could happen too. They keep it secret. Anyways, so I just thought that was interesting. I really did. Because I kind of thought they got along a little bit better than that. It also kind of disproves the fact that the Arcanum, and obviously the spoilers are over at this point, but it kind of disproves the idea that the Arcanum is college for our wizards. It's not really college. College was Ravenwood. I don't know why so many people seem to think that that was like a wizard high school. That was really weird to me because it was very obvious that it wasn't. There was no way that Ravenwood was a high school of any kind. It was obviously the college. And just because the Arcanum has scholars there, that doesn't really mean that it's a college per se. It just means that they have, really very highly trained wizards there. That, yeah, they do teach you a few things here and there, but that's only after you gain their trust slowly and steadily, right? Like, you have to show them, like, hey, I'm willing to do this for you guys. Give me more powerful spells so I can do even more, right? You have to show them that, and then they give you more powerful spells. It's obvious to me that they're like a CIA type situation in the spiral. And, the more they trust you, the more access you get, right? It just, from day one, that's what it seemed like to me. And I didn't really understand why so many people couldn't really figure that out. But they just kind of, they operate uninterrupted in the spiral like the CIA does in real life, Anyways, so that's enough about Imperia Part 2, because I don't want to give away too much information. Most of that last part was just like Imperia Part 1, well, Polaris to Imperia Part 1 stuff, Alright. Oh, shh. Oh, I almost said a very bad word. Okay. Trying not to do too much here. Alright, there we go. My mouse fell off my desk, so I had to pull it back up, and it started clicking on things. Thought I was about to exit out of the game. I was not about to be very happy about that. Like, I was in the middle of pet training. What are you doing? That would not have been nice. I'll probably actually keep this video to like 30 minutes. Because an hour, that's a bit too long. Maybe even 25. And then I'll do another video whenever I get it to Ancient. I'll do that one of me getting it up to Epic. If I do pet training series like this, that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to, record the whole thing. I know some people do that, but I don't know. I feel like pet training, it's, like I said, it's too repetitive. I wouldn't really, I don't understand how that would be very fun to watch. Obviously, whenever people watch gameplay, it's usually more for the commentary, which is why gameplay videos usually have commentary. I always have to answer that question to people. They're just like, why would someone spend time watching someone else play a video game? That doesn't make sense to me. And explaining it to people is kind of difficult, right? You have to, you kind of have to get it into their heads like, hey, you watch football, right? You watch soccer, you watch basketball, right? And most of these people do. Okay, they watch these things and they turn around and criticize people who watch video games instead. But it's the same thing. You're watching someone else play a game. There's no difference between the two. All right. The only difference is that one just happens to be more physically exhausting than the other. However, reaction times and obviously I'm going to use some big words here. Cognitive functions are vastly improved whenever you play video games, and that's been backed up by science all the way. You know, people who play video games, they have longer attention spans, right? Because you have to farm, you have to grind. That's very common in video games. They're a lot better at strategizing because in video games, that's what you have to do. Okay, I don't know. I don't know if I'm okay with that on there. I'll keep training it because I mean it's not that bad. I'll see what I get for the next one. I don't know. It's kind of iffy. 3%. Yeah, we'll keep training it for now, and we'll see what it gets after this. Um, I'll give it one more. I don't consider that completely a fail. That's just one less damage talent. Hopefully, I need 3 critical talents. 3 critical talents and at least 1 damage talent, and I am good. That is what I need on my pet. And then obviously I can put the other damage talent down with the star. That's all I need. So we'll see how that goes. I hate the not responding thing. For some reason my computer does it a lot, but it just drives me nuts. Especially when I'm farming a Lore Master or something, and by the time my screen actually loads up, everyone else is already in the battle, so I'm running in and I'm late to the match, and I'm just like, I'm sorry guys, I have a crappy computer right now. Not much I can do about it. Whenever I turn it on and I try and open up Google Chrome, it takes like a full 5 minutes for Google Chrome to actually open. And then everything else generally runs pretty well. I've got a lot of files on my computer, so it takes it a long time for those to load up. But that's only because it's like 300 gigabytes worth of random files. They're not random, but I don't know, they're more like... I'm the kind of person that takes a lot of pictures of stuff. You know, I go out and take pictures of trees and stuff, so I have a lot of that on my computer. Ooh, get back here. Yee. Oh, I got it. Okay, got it. Oh, nice. All right, I got that one too. I thought it had worn off, but now I was like, ow, I'm about to get frozen. Okay, I got lucky there. Because that was on its last leg. You could already tell. Sucks that you only get one of them, but I kind of understand it though. Because if you got 2, I mean, right off the bat, you'd have like 20 or 30 points if you managed to get 3 in a row. Which you can get 3 in a row. It's just really hard. You have to be pretty lucky because they all have to be within a very close proximity within to each other, and that's not always the case. So it's kind of a circumstantial thing, I guess. Okay. I'll do one more and then I'm going to end the video there. So this is going to be pet training part 1. I think for a lot of, if I do any more pet training videos, it'll probably be for, if this pet fails, it'll be for, me trying to get another better pet. But I'll probably be doing them to try and, get certain pets that I've acquired along the way, like rare pets and stuff, to just kind of see what they get whenever I train them. I won't hatch them or anything, I'll just see what their basic stats are. Oh. God, I'm so tired. I got off of work like 2 hours ago. Honestly, it wasn't hard today because we ended up staying closed all the way up until I had to leave, like clock out. And the reason was the power had gone out and they were replacing the refrigerators and they actually took the entire counter apart. I work at a restaurant, and it's one of those restaurants where they cook in front of you and you can go up to the counter and you can watch them cook and that kind of stuff. But they had taken the entire counter apart, right? So you weren't actually able to go up to the counter or anything because there was metal dust everywhere. You can't breathe that in. You don't really want that in your body at all. It's toxic. All right, and it was all over the place. So you didn't really have to just stay out of the restaurant altogether, but you couldn't go near the counter, so you had to kind of stay 5 feet away or something like that. There wasn't all that much of it. They just sawed part of the counter off, and it was like one small little area. But for the most part, we just cleaned the restaurant over and over and over again and talked. Oh, I even ran over because there's a Taco Bell right next door. I ran over to the Taco Bell, I got some tacos, and brought them all to everyone. I was like, hey, here's some food. Because I do work in a restaurant, but we couldn't cook anything. They didn't, the cooks weren't called in or anything because they can't cook anything. So there's not really any point in them being there at that point. I don't know. It was interesting. Usually whenever I get to work, I have to get everything clean within like a 10-minute time period, which is impossible. So I always end up having to like bring food out to people while simultaneously cleaning things and doing cashier work all at the same time. It's not as hard as it sounds from 11 to like noon, but from 12 to 1 o'clock, it's pretty bad. It kind of depends on how many cashiers we have that day. Alright, it's an Asian restaurant, so it does get pretty crowded in there. Okay, so I said I'd do one more and then stop, so yeah, we're done. Oh, alright guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to like, be sure to comment, and be sure to subscribe for more amazing videos. My pet training part 2 video will be coming out tomorrow. I'm going to upload this one pretty much as soon as I click the stop button on this. I hope you guys enjoyed it, like I said, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.